Well, hello the new. It's only me, Leonard Wells, broadcasting as usual from Studio B here in the Giggle Mill in Haslingden, north of Manchester in the UK. Studio B is, as you all probably know, state of the art. Oh, the best. And as a result we have, as resident studio engineer, none other than the very sweet chap Adolf Apfelstrudel from Berchtesgaden in Bavaria. Adolf at one time was a top driver with the Automobile Association and unfortunately developed a drink problem. He was fired and ended up as a member of Alcoholics Anonymous, so he was often referred to as AA from the AA, formerly with the AA. Now unfortunately, during the WAR, Adolf was gruesomely wounded and refuses steadfastly to appear on camera because he says it frightens the kids and he gets visits from the police in the night. But just occasionally I can persuade him to wave to you wearing a glove over his WAR, wounded hand. And he's just come in, just walked in from the pub, and I'm going to try and persuade him, if I can, to wave to you. Now, I know he's been to the pub because he's swaying a bit, and Adolf? No, it's no use. When he gets like that, he goes wolf-like when he's had too much to drink. Wolf-like. Anyway, we'll try and carry on with our little story, which concerns the National Health Service, or lack of it, should I say, in the United States. Now, in the United States, there isn't a normal health service. Most people have insurance to pay for the hospital treatment. Those that don't go around usually dressed like a Michelin man so they won't get hurt if they get hit by a car or something. That's just a joke, really. And I hope the Americans are not offended. But in this little story, this poor guy, he was... Oh, that'll be 1 o'clock, you know. It's these oats, they make you as regular as a clock. In this little story, this poor old guy managed to make 60, and he'd never really been seriously ill, so he thought he'd escaped. But unfortunately he got hit by a bus. Oh, it was gruesome. Oh, dreadful it was. Anyway, he was rushed to hospital, and it turned out to be one run by the Sisters of Charity, and they managed to save his life after 2 days in the operating theatre. He comes round in his bed and he sees this nun there, the big habit. First of all he thought he was in heaven, you see, and she stood there with a clipboard and she said, "Mr. Jones," she says, "I'm Sister Agnes." She said, "We managed to save you." So he says, "Oh, thank the Lord for that," he says. So she says, "Well, I'm just wondering now, how are you going to pay us? You owe us about $177,000 for all the treatment and your stay here." So at this point he nearly has a heart attack, and he says, "Oh my God." So she says, have you a credit card on you?" So he says, "No, I don't use them." She says, "Have you any cash?" He says, "Oh no, definitely not." So she said, "Well, how about any collateral? Can you sell your house?" He says, "No." He says, I rent a house." So she said, any relatives?" He said, "I've no one, except," he said, "I have a long distant sister. She lives in Arizona." Oh, she said, "We'll get in touch with her." Oh, he said, "It'll be not much use," he said, "because she's a spinster, and coincidentally she's a nun too." Oh, she says, "I think you're misinterpreting," she says. "We may be spinsters," she said, "but we're all married to God, we nuns." So he looks at her and he says, "In that case," he says, "would you send the bill to my brother-in-law?" Thank you and good night, folks. Good night, pugs.